Today we once again review some episodes of 7 Days. Last time we left our happy little crew, they were dealing with Chinese trying to take over the world, Russians trying to take over the world, and a slapstick comedy episode about suicide and terrorism. What do we got in store today?
This religious group hasn't yet found the Promised Land. Instead, the government has denied Bass's claim that the group constitutes a church and has demanded they pay taxes. The government will now spend $10 million to collect 8,000 from these people.
Yes, this episode is about the army trying to shut down a small farming community that claims religious protection and refuses to pay taxes, when suddenly a shot goes off.
Gunshot confirmed?
Affirmative, sir. The serpent's uncoiled.
Execute orders. Move at will.
They blew it up. They have blown up the farmhouse.
A backstep is ordered because the president is hosting a human rights summit. When all the other countries see, dude, you just blew up your own people, you don't give a shit about human rights, they cancel the summit and everyone leaves. In order to get into the group, Parker comes up with the idea that him and Olga should pose as a married couple and try to join the farming community. Right away, both sides look pretty guilty.
Wait a minute, don't I have a say here?
All you gotta do is act like we're married.
How
Now-
married?
Just follow my lead, all right?
What do you mean follow your lead? Why do I always have to follow your lead?
Because it sounds like you got it under control, Frank. Sound married to me.
The president is conducting a human rights summit at Camp David as we speak. How would it look if the government seized our land, denied our human rights?
See any dynamite in there, Cap?
No, but we did find these mortar rounds. Big ones. Not the surprising stun weapons you were talking about.
What was this guy named? Why does he keep looking at me like he knows something I don't?
I won't tell you who the bad guy ended up being, but there is a side plot where Parker gets accused of telling all about Project Backstep while drunk to the reporter lady, but it turns out it was really Ramsey, who, under anesthesia at the dentist, told everything. Pretty decent little episode overall. There's actually some mystery to this one, a little bit of action, ends up being pretty good. The episode begins with a rock and roll obsessed Russian submarine sonar operator, and a bureaucrat aboard the submarine does not like that he's became so westernized.
Political officer in the new Navy. You're enamored with the West. Primitive African rhythms, Western television, Baywatch. These things should not be in the head of a man upon whom the success of the mission and the lives of 78 other men depend today.
He's one of them bad Russians that Ramsey's always been warning about that sees America as the enemy.
I'm picking up something.
Another vessel?
Likely. These are American shipping waters.
Track it.
Sir?
I don't advise this, Deputy Commander. We need our sonar to track the ice. We're in very...
Track the vessel. We're in enemy waters.
Enemy, sir?
Because they take their attention off the ice, they crash, and the nuclear reactor begins to leak radiation. The captain orders the sub scuttled, but a mutiny is forged by the bureaucrat, forcing them to rise, leaking nuclear material into the air.
The result is what you see there.
The red area denotes extreme concentrations, about 3 times 10 to the 18th becquerels.
In English?
Well, the phrase radioactive death cloud comes to mind.
Using a high-tech suit that should take 2 months to learn, Parker learns it in 3 days because he's a badass, gets onto the ship, and takes control again for the captain, saving everybody. Overall, pretty decent episode, pretty complete. You get some action, you get some emotional stuff with the Russian kid, and everything works out pretty well. That's right, folks, a ghost episode called freaking Parkergeist. Begins with drug dealers finding out that America is sending up a satellite with an X-ray that can figure out if any shipment in the world has drugs in it or not.
It can determine the molecular structure of any substance from a distance of 300 miles.
from space.
When does it become operational?
The technology is ready. It's going to be piggybacked on an American surveillance satellite set to launch in about 3 months.
A backstep is ordered to stop the rocket explosion, but something goes horribly wrong.
Hey fellas, what's the big...
No pulse. Where's the beacon unit? Where's Dr. Chapel?
What happened?
Distraught over, being dead, and the fact that the government has decided they can't risk another backstep to save him, he goes to the bar.
Man, I could sure use a cold one. You're looking for a handout. You're barking up the wrong stool, buddy. You hurt me? Just because I'm blind don't mean my ears don't work.
Yes! Thank you, Lord!
Yes, in this universe, blind people can hear ghosts. But he doesn't want to help Parker because he knows what happens to black people in horror movies.
Oh, no. I seen plenty of spy movies before I lost my sight. Some poor sucker does someone a favor. Next thing you know, they lying in a field with begonias growing out their ass.
That's not gonna happen, Barney.
I'm supposed to trust you? You're dead.
Well, I'm not really dead. I'm just half dead.
By harassing the shit out of him and not letting him sleep, Parker is able to convince Barney to help him by calling Olga, telling her things only Parker would know, and eventually she believes him and the day is saved. Overall, it's called Parkergeist and is about a blind guy that can hear ghosts. No, next. In our next episode, somewhere the show started doing this. We focus on a rescue mission that goes horribly wrong.
My shoulder! My shoulder!
I'm Sergeant Moment. I'm here to get you out of here.
So why is a failed rescue mission worthy of a backstep? Because, unknown to her and the world, she happens to be the illegitimate daughter of the vice president. So Parker is sent back, and a giant sphere crashing to the ground draws the attention of the nearby troops, and he has to convince them that he's one of the good guys.
Rodriguez, your most distinguishing feature is a tattoo of Casper the Ghost on your butt.
What?
After convincing them that he's a good guy, the second rescue attempt goes much better. Her partner, however, was moved to another location. She wants them to continue on and try to save her partner, even after she's told who her father is.
Wow, so suddenly I become the big priority because of my breeding? I hate that kind of BS.
You're right, Parker. She is one of us.
Yes, another episode I actually kind of like. There's a large focus on how big of a danger this is to Parker as an individual, comparing to him normally trying to save the world and him being just one of millions that will die if he doesn't do this. But this is an individual risk and it adds a lot to the character. Our horrible episode titles return when a terrorist group in Belarus find a Olga doppelganger.
Oh my God.
doppelgangers pulled out of a mental institution. Yes, just like Parker was. And they go all My Fair Lady and teach her how to be ladylike and, more importantly, teach her how to be Olga.
I met my husband Joseph while at university. There we fell deeply in love. But Joseph was lost in a Russian time travel experiment. It was the saddest day of my life. When the Soviet Union collapsed, I defected to the United States to continue my work in the development of time travel technology.
While she's researching her role as Olga, she also researches Olga's co-workers and falls in love with Parker. The real Olga is captured and killed, while the fake Olga comes on to Parker and is immediately found out because, well, real Olga doesn't want to fuck Parker.
My fault. I've been acting like this sex-crazed maniac since the day we met. But the truth is...
You're just like Gregor.
What?
Parker spends most of this episode tied to a bed in a hidden room that nobody knows about. Our hero of this episode is Ramsey. His paranoia against Russians actually helps us out this time.
Let me tell you something. These are private quarters, Doctor. They are also, as of right now, part of a missing persons investigation. So unless you'd like to be forcibly removed, I suggest you get your pink little commie ass out of here. Now!
Overall, there was a nice little group episodes, nice action-packed this time around. Next one, which will be our last one, I can't say the same for as we deal with comedy, aliens, two of the dumbest plot lines I have ever seen in television, and mutants. Thank you for watching, and as always, I shall try to do better next time.